Forsaken tier list. I'm going to be doing it in this order. First, we're going to start off with Elliot. This is a good S. Great survivability, great heal. I mean, it's just amazing. Uh, I don't. There's not even much to say about him. Like he doesn't have anything like. He doesn't have any like crazy techniques or nothing. He's just like really strong. Shedletsky, I'll put him in a solid B tier. He's good, but he just doesn't work super well. And if they're ready for you to swing, like then you're never really gonna land it because the a good killer would always have more stamina than you, and they're gonna be able to have enough to dodge it, and then punish you for missing. So I think B tier is good for him, but because he also does have his own heal, he's just a great survivor overall, and actually could be very useful to the team if paired up with like something like Dusakar. Uh, so his best pairings are probably supports that prevent damage, like Taf and Dusakar. Elliot, he goes with really anyone. Builderman, I'm gonna put in C tier. He just doesn't really function with any of the other characters super well. He is good for Dusakar and Taf and even Elliot to run through his turret area to just slow down the killer. But since he is so weak on his own, and if he gets targeted, he will just get destroyed. Uh, he's definitely just gonna stay in C tier. He offers A tier support, but he doesn't function with too many characters that great. And then he also just overall is very weak on his own. If you play the sentry right, he he's a possible like he is good. He actually I think I'm gonna do bottom of B tier. I think he can function well, but I'm not sure if he can. He can't do too much on his own. If it's last man standing, unless you have a really good turret spot, you're just cooked. If you get targeted early game, you're just cooked. You have to find a good. He's also very map dependent because if you get a good map where there's like turret locations, like to place your turret, then he can be like, he could honestly even be A tier. But since he's map dependent and he doesn't survive on his own too well, I think I'm gonna keep him in the bottom of B tier. So we'll keep Shidletsky ahead of him. So two time works best with people that distract or slow the killer. So Dusakar and him, they are very distracting to the killer. So he would be able to sneak up behind when they're getting chased. Also N7, Taf, and Dusakar, they're all very distracting, and they don't have any stuns themselves. So he can help them survive, and he's probably the most support based sentinel. Like he really helps with others and distracting, which is just amazing. I think he's gonna be bottom of S tier because he just offers so much for all kinds of teams. N7, he can be good with the right team, but if the killer is smart, if you play your clone well, I'm kind of talking about like if you use all their strats and if it's a good killer, I would probably put him at B tier. He kind of functions above Builderman because he kind of functions well on all maps. He just doesn't survive himself that well. He's very good if there's something uh like a two time or guest on the team because he is great for just annoying the killer and slowing them down and stopping them. He's also very good at last man standing. If we were talking last man standing, he might even be like here. He is so good at last man standing, it is insane. Although Nolly does help stop him a lot more than other killers. Chance, he's really luck based. I think he might be our first C tier. Just the chance that you get stuck with a low HP like 90, and then your stun only works well close up. It's a 4 second stun up close. It's like 2 to 4 seconds, I think. So he can be very good. Like he can stun for very long, and since it is ranged, that's also really helpful. But it's not too hard to miss or get baited with. Uh, So I'm just gonna have to put him in C tier. Like his character can be really weak, especially if you're targeted early game or you get unlucky. But he could potentially be like right here. If you get lucky, he is probably one of the best sentinels like up here in A tier. But just because he could be so weak if he gets unlucky, we're gonna have to keep him there. Noob, I'm gonna have to put. This might be the first A tier. I think I would put him at the bottom of A tier. He is the Ghost Burger helps you get away from any clones. Say you're at a looping spot. They place clones to try and counter you. Eat a Ghost Burger and then you can continue looping. Uh, if they use a really long cooldown, if they use like a really long build up move, uh, or if it's a like 1x, if you notice that they're popping their all seeing, then you could use your Ghost Burger and it kind of counters it. And then also his cola is great. Just it's literally just a infinite cola. Like it is very useful. Uh, and then his slate skin is not the best. It works good against like really no one, cause like the best one it would work against is 1x because of his crazy damage when you get hit by like entanglement. But like it's kind of buns. I haven't actually used slate skin effectively yet. I can't find out how. It just doesn't feel very usable. Here, actually, I might put him at the top of B tier, and then I'll move Shadetsky up to the bottom of A tier. I think that's better. Just because he doesn't offer too much to the team, he's probably less team focused than these guys, but he's good at surviving. He's good at what he does, but he's just nothing like special. So he's a B tier. He's very solid. Okay, Taf. I'm going to put Taf in C tier above Chance. Again, it's just because having 90 HP is actually insane. And then, especially if you get some weakness, you get unlucky. Like, say you pull 5 tails and 2 heads, so you can't hat fix, and you're getting chased. What are you gonna do? You're gonna try and shoot your gun? What they could juke it like there's a high possibility that everything goes wrong and you're just gonna die. So I'm definitely gonna have to put him at the bottom of C tier. I think Taff, with the right team, and if you play him right, the helplessness from his trip mine is actually so good. Like that could let you pull off a soda. Like if you have a cola, you could pop a cola when they get hit by the bomb because it makes it so that they can't use their moves for so long. And then Taff also like the tripwire. If in some spots it's very easy to stop just like by hitting it, but if you place it right, you basically have a path that any other survivor could take to survive. He's like he's he has some strats, but he's just not that good. He's very he's very hit or miss too. Like if somebody with more AOE like Nolly just like uses his throw, uh, where the tripwire is, it's just like gone. uh like there's a lot of ways to like he's not super useful. His trip mine can be baited, but if you place it well, it can be useful. I would definitely say that Chance is potentially better, but since he doesn't help with the team too much and he's very luck based, I'm gonna keep him at the bottom because consistently being good is very important. Uh, Guest I'm gonna put in A tier. Guest fits super well with somebody like Dusakar. If Guest like if Guest is about to block, Dusakar could give them a shield right after their block wears out. That way, if they get countered or if they miss their block, they're just completely safe. No punish. You basically won't get punished for missing your block, unless it's 1x. He's just gonna obliterate your HP with like his little throws. But then and then also, if you punch them, Dusakar works really well with guests in so many ways. If you punch them, they could use plasma beam to slow them down after. Like they could start to wind up right after, so that they get slowed as they're getting up, and then they basically just don't sprint for even longer. Or if they do sprint, they're wasting sprint and they're not gonna catch up. Like that, this it can be very good. But then Dusakar can also slow it first, so that he can use his punch. Like if he didn't just do a parry, then he could slow him so that he can punch. So it's very good. And I want to put it at the bottom of S just because he is also my main. But I think I'm gonna put him above Shedletsky, and I'm gonna put Guest here. This is, and then yeah, I think this is good because he offers so much to every team. Again, slowing will distract it, so 2 time Guest or Shedletsky can stun them because they're moving slow. They're also they're also kind of distracted. They're just like, man, I just got hit with slowness. Maybe even they stop running. Like I see a lot of killers do that because that is a good strategy to stop running. It, he will when you get hit by slowness, it's actually gonna make you lower your guard a little bit, so that the sentinels can help you run away. So he could survive very well with a good team. His Okay, but here's the thing: the spawn protection recently it got a lot of changes. So did Plasma Beam, but Plasma Beam really just got like mega buffed, and then spawn protection got like very tweaked, and it only lasts for 4.5 seconds. I think if it lasted 6 seconds, 5.5, maybe even like 7 seconds, then he would definitely be S tier. But since it's not, it can make it kind of useless. I guess if you can react fast enough, you can like shut down like a Cool Kid rush or a Nolly rush. But overall, spawn protection isn't helping that much, so I'm definitely just gonna have to put him at the top of A tier because it can be used well, but it's just not that good. And 1x's damage, it basically, I think his glitch effect does a weird type of damage that basically ignores resistance or makes it a lot weaker. Like I swear, if you get hit by the mass infection and entanglement combo, even if he's protecting you for the full thing, you take crazy damage. Like it is, I swear, 1x is like 1x makes this man feel useless. But if played well, he can stop killer chases completely. He can create huge range. He opens opportunities for sentinels. He does a lot more. He has a lot more pros than cons right now, especially because they tweaked him so much. The main thing is that they made his range shorter, and they made it so that he can sprint while using them, and he's not as slowed as much, which basically means he can just like he can use his abilities while running. So plasma beam can be used to slow them down, so that sentinel could help, or so that you could create some more distance. Like it's very useful, and I'm very happy with the tweaks they did. I think buff the duration of his spawn protection, 5.5 seconds again, maybe like 5.5 to like 6.5 seconds, anywhere between there would be perfect. So I'm gonna leave him here for now. And now I'm just gonna look at this list for a little bit, and I'll see if there's anything I want to change. So I've thought a little bit, and team team-based characters are very important. So I'm gonna bump down noob to here, to bottom of B tier, and bump Taff up to here. No, I don't think Taff up there. I think his moves just aren't useful enough. So just because he helps the team so much and is basically passively helping them, like if you set it up well, especially on the right map, you're gonna make the killer have a horrible time, especially if your team plays around it well. So just because I'm talking about team base, I'm gonna have to put him down here because he doesn't help the team as much. He can help the team if there's something like a Dusakar to slow them down, or like a Taff, like that will let him land his thing to help stop the killer and let everyone else get away. But he is much more of a selfish sentinel, so I'm gonna have to knock him down, even though he is still very good and can be helpful to the team. He just doesn't help as much as the other sentinels. And also, one thing I want to talk about before I end the video is that Guest right here if he will take the hit and then no one else does. Like if you're standing next to him. So if you're good at the game, you could literally give your guest spawn protection for a while, and then he just runs up to you. This strat worked better back then when Dusakar got slowness because he couldn't really move when he used his spawn protection, and it would last way longer. So guest so you would have the guest run up to you while he's getting the spawn protection, and then you would basically be immortal, and he would take low damage. And if they're constantly swinging at you, trying to take his HP down, he just blocks and then gets a free parry, and then you guys can run. So that was a very fun strat before Dusakar got changed. But now with the changes, that strat is much more useless because he works better on his own. Like say you're in a bad situation where you have to give it guest spawn protection because he's about to get hit by some stuff, but you're close. You guys could team up and basically stop each other from taking damage and then get a free stun and get away. So that was a very fun strategy. There's a lot of strategies like that. Like there's a ton of strategies where guests can just tank the damage for other characters. Uh, like that is a very important passive I wanted to talk about. So because that is very helpful when you are trying to help a support survive because he does have the most HP in the game. Like he has crazy HP. So overall, he mm, he is very skill dependent. Like if you have to know your playstyle and the killer's playstyle better than he knows your playstyle and his playstyle. Like kind of. That's I you should know what I mean. Like you have to be able to read the killer better than better than the killer could read you. Like that's what I'm trying to say. You have to basically be able to predict them without them being able to predict you. So he is very skill dependent and also works best against newbier killers. So I'm gonna keep him at the bottom of A tier. And real quick, I just want to say C tier does not mean they're bad. It just means they're not as good as the others. Like I didn't put any in D tier because none of them are actually bad. Like I consider if you're at like a C or higher, then you're just good. Like D tier is what would be bad. So these two are still very good uh, survivors, and they do have potential to be very good. But overall, these ones are just better and would help the team uh, more reliably. Especially, chance. Listen, I would if this was just like a normal tier list where I wasn't caring about like I was just ranking how good they were. I would probably put him at the top of B because he's so unreliable and he could be like completely buns some games. I'm just gonna have to keep him down here, just because he's not as reliable as the other killers. So that's gonna be the list for now. And if I have any changes, any updates happen, I might leave a updated version in the comments, so you can check those out. If you disagree with any of where I place them, you could argue in the comments, but I will respond and I will argue back. But I think this is a solid ranking for now, and goodbye.